Robbie Baldwin, Lennon's older brother, is a senior at that school. For the class of 2012, tonight is senior prom, but following yesterday's developments, some students say it is difficult to find any reason to celebrate. And guys, I got two points. One, we report on this way too often, and we've been reporting on bullying cases and suicides from those bullying cases. It seems like once a month, if not more often. And as the only non-parent at the table, I'm the furthest removed from this conversation. So I just want to ask you guys, what do we do? What changes do we have to put in place to make this the last bullying story that we have to report?
I'll tell you right now, the schools have to become more accountable. You see, schools, they're told, okay, and this is what some of the direction that they give to the teachers, is to stay away from it, okay? Because once they acknowledge there's bullying and they start to put their hand into it and do anything, then they have liability. Okay, then they have some responsibility. As long as they have their head in the ground, okay, not looking at it, they feel that, hey, they start saying, we didn't know this was going on. If we did, we would have stepped in, yada, yada. And then all of a sudden, they have no legal responsibility. The schools have to be proactive in this. They know what's going on. It all emanates from the school environment, for sure. And if there's going to be a stop, a halt, some kind of attack on the bullying issue, it's going to have to start and end in the schools.
I'm sorry, we can't just, I agree with you, but we cannot just blame the schools. This starts with parents that are not responsible, with latchkey kids, and they don't pay attention to what's going on with their children. And these parents put their heads in the sand like an ostrich, and then, oh, my kid did that? If you suspended the child immediately and made that parent miss 2 or 3 days of work to come into school, if they work at all, I guarantee you the behavior would change of that child.
I mean, that's difficult because so many latchkey parents or so many latchkey kids, both parents are working for financial reasons. As we, I mean,
so are the rest of us responsible to raise your kid? Yeah. I mean, are the rest of us responsible for that?
I'm just saying, it's easy to say, you know, make the schools responsible, but not every bullying case happens in school. It's easy to say it's the latchkey parents, but listen, what are you asking
Andrew,
parents to do?
I think bullying, we're in a world of technology where the bullying case we find out by the next morning. I think bullying has been going on since the beginning of time. I don't think it is ever going to end.
But isn't this deadly?
Listen, I believe that kids have been committing suicide since the beginning of time. But Dominic's absolutely right, is that there's only so much the schools can do. The ultimate responsibility, the schools, yes, as Brad says, they need to make the parents aware of what's going on. It's not their obligation to change the kid. They can suspend a kid. They should suspend a kid. There should be harsh penalties. But parents need to be brought in, and they have to be responsible for the actions they have. Look, I think all of us around this table recognize that if any of us acted in an inappropriate way, if we threatened another kid or whatever, my father would have smacked me in the back of my head so fast I would have been grounded for a month. My bicycle, my Little League days would have been like, you're not playing this month. And that's what parents do. Good parents take that responsibility. And as Dominic said, when a parent's got to take a day off in the morning from work and he feels the effect of doing that, that's when it's going to change. Parents have to step up and be aware of what their kids. Unfortunately, today, we have situations where we have a lot of single-parent households. It's the biggest crime that we have in this country right now is that we don't have a mother and a father raising a child. A mother can't do it alone. You need a father.
Tom, can I add something with this also? And I think it does go, I think it's a combination of all the thoughts at this table. But one other thing is I wish more of the community would step up against bullying. A lot of people talk about it, but I'll tell you something. If I have a kid that's bullying others, and there are 3 neighbors that come to me and say, hey, Brad, I want to make you aware of something. Maybe the school didn't. I think the school should have, but they didn't. Okay? Maybe the parent of the bullied child didn't approach me. Okay? That didn't happen. But the next step is, where's the community? They know. I hear it in my community. Everyone here, this so-and-so is a bully. He's a really bad kid. Okay? The community should approach these families and make them aware. And because it's for the safety and it's for the emotional well-being of all the children in the community. Absolutely. I think we've lost some of that community approach. Absolutely. Years ago, that's what would have happened.
Andrew, Brad hit right on the head, is that I think that anytime you get a community together, it really works. When my oldest son was in high school, Columbine had happened around that time, and I thought that they came up with a very, very unique thing that they did. They made it, Matt was very lucky that, he was sort of the jock at school, good friends, part of the inside group, They took it upon those kids when they saw a student who was continually having lunch alone or whatever the case is, that somebody in that outer circle would go over and sit down and have lunch with that kid. And I think it's the responsibility of those
student or teacher?
Student, that those cool kids take it upon themselves to look out for the kids who really need
That's a model. That is a model.
That's what they need to do, and I think that we should tell our kids, if you're part of the good guys, if you're the captain of the football team, that captain has a responsibility in the classroom and in the lunchroom to protect those kids who can't protect themselves.
I agree.
We all agree with that.
Good.
That's for sure. And there is, that's just not talk, because that stuff can happen.
Yes.
Some good ideas, good conversation, and a good place to end this topic for at least tonight. And hopefully we don't have to bring it up again. We're going to take a